Hey, why is the janitor grandma talking with all the other employees like she's on their levels? I was just talking with Chris about this, and there's no way you're trying to flatter all of them, right?
Flatter? Why would I be doing that? I see that you and Chris have decided to get married, so congratulations for that. I look forward to hearing more about that from you two in the coming weeks.
Well, I'm not happy to hear you congratulating me when you're just a stinky old janitor. Why are you even here? You're not going to ask me to invite you to my wedding, right?
Angela, are you sure there isn't some sort of misunderstanding here?
Please don't call me by my name. I have no idea why it seems like you're on the good side of all the other employees here, but why are you even allowed to be talking with all of them?
Angela? Are you really asking me that question? Did you not listen to anything that was told to you when you were hired to this company?
Yeah, I remember them saying that you are the janitor for this company. That's what the CEO was talking about, right? But to be fair, that whole speech I was given was so boring that I dozed off during most of it. I was even looking at my phone more than the whole introduction presentation.
I'm aware that right now you're in your office working, so do you think that's the right time to be messaging me?
That's not something you of all people should be worried about. I think you should be more worried about your own problems within this company, right?
What problems do I have then?
You have no other skills to use within this company, hence you being a janitor, which is awful for someone your age. Don't tell me that you're also not married. I know that I never want to be your age and still having to work as a janitor cleaning the whole office building. You must hate your husband if you're married.
I'm married, as a matter of fact, and I do not hate my husband, nor does he have anything against me.
You're in your 50s, right? Do you really have anything more to your future now that you've stooped so low as becoming a janitor? Well, I guess at your age, there really is nothing left in your future for you. I feel bad for you, but that's your current reality.
So we really do have a misunderstanding here. If you really have an issue with me that you'd like resolved, why don't you talk with Chris about all of that? Because continuing to talk to me as though you want to start something with me will not land you in a good place. So what do you want with me, Angela?
If you really want to know, I'd like you to disappear. I know that you seem to have good relations with a lot of the other employees here, but I'm sure that's what they're all thinking as well. You wouldn't want to keep talking to them all, knowing that, right? You'll start to look bad in front of Chris. And even worse, if he saw me talking to you, he'd think twice about me. I finally found a good man to marry, and I don't want you ruining that for me.
I wasn't planning on saying anything about this, but I think it's best that you go into the company's website and look into this company just a little bit more, okay?
Huh? What are you saying right now? I'm not going to listen to what some janitor tells me to do. And to be honest, I'm not planning to stay within this company forever anyway. Do you really think I'd stick around in a company like this for the long haul? No way. And to be honest, I don't have any drive to do work here either. So I think I'll just sit around looking cute for all the others, and that should be enough to get my salary. Haha.
So you plan to leave this job anyway, I see. Now I understand the full picture here.
I mean, look at me. I'm too good looking to work, so I plan to become a housewife soon. So really, this job is just for play until the wedding comes.
Well, with that kind of confidence in yourself, just be careful not to take too large of steps when you're on thin ice.
Huh? What are you trying to say?
I don't really have much else to say, but Angela, I think taking this job a bit more seriously will benefit you plenty. So to start, can you please take another look through the company's website and study up a bit more on this place? Now I need to get back to work. Please excuse me.
A janitor still trying to act all smart with me? Why are you here right now?
Huh?
You're just a janitor, so you shouldn't be here with everyone. Did anyone even invite you to this wedding to begin with? Get out of here! Now!
You've really gotten far with this whole misunderstanding, haven't you? And you went as far as to pour wine all over me at this wedding. Is that really something the bride should be doing on her special day?
Did you really think that because this was the wedding for a couple of company employees, you'd be invited to join? Well, I'll have you know that I do not view you as one of my coworkers. You just clean up the trash. You're not even a real employee.
Well, I suppose I'm not just some ordinary employee, am I?
Why is this janitor grandma even at my wedding today?
Can you please stop trying to belittle me due to your misunderstanding? I think you'll find that what you're doing is not at all okay.
All you know how to do is clean up the toilet, so what makes you think you know what's okay and what's not? Wait, could this mean you're here to clean up the reception hall's toilets as well? Well, if that's the case, you can join all the other janitors here and get on with your work. But just make sure you don't come in during the rest of the wedding because you have no right to.
You may think that what you're doing to me is okay in front of everyone here, but to tell you the truth, you're being quite the nasty person at the moment.
I'm not going to take that from a grandma that smells like bleach. You're just here to clean up our mess. So why were you talking to all my guests? You smell bad, old lady.
Never thought you'd actually be willing to take things this far.
Well, it's not my fault that you thought you were invited to my wedding. Maybe if I come and spill some beer on you as well, you'll understand you're not wanted. Go home!
Can you at least let me stay until the speech is over?
Shut the hell up and go home!
If you let me stay a little longer, I'll go home. I'll make sure to stay out of the wedding and everything for you after that. But if you just give me until after the speech, you'll understand everything a whole lot more clearly.
I'm so very sorry about everything. Can you please accept all of my apologies? Where have you run off to?
Even if you'd like to continue to apologize to me, you're far too late. You have the wrong idea about me thinking that I was a janitor instead of the CEO of the company, and then going as far as you did is not forgivable. Are you happy now?
I really never knew that you were the CEO of the company, though. You didn't seem like the kind of person to be a CEO, so I had no clue.
Even though your fiancé Chris asked me to come here to give the wedding speech for you two, I never thought I'd end up on the stage covered in wine thinking twice about taking him up on his offer. I'd like for you to be thankful that I never once brought your name up in a bad way during that speech.
Even if you didn't bring up my name during that speech, you already threw everything into chaos. When you said that someone threw wine all over you, you gazed directly at me for everyone to see. Now even Chris knows that it was my fault.
Well, sorry for that. Both your fiancé and his family were in great surprise, and now the wedding has been canceled, right?
That's not all that happened, though. You saw what else happened, right?
Oh, I sure did. I think everyone saw what happened, right? You and your fiancé got into a huge fight up on stage, and everyone began to panic.
And worse than that, Chris and his family have gone up and left me here after they had enough of me. Making me fall into hell in only a matter of seconds is going way too far, don't you think? And the rest of my coworkers just sat there without supporting me and have left me with a failed wedding. Don't you think this was too much?
What do you want to say, Angela? You poured wine all over me, and now my dress is stained, and I doubt any of it will come out. Do you really think any of your coworkers would support you after seeing that? No wonder they all came up to ask me if I needed help.
So you're going to think that all of this was my fault then? All I did was get a little confused over some things.
Angela, what are you really trying to say here? Can you tell me why you started texting me in the first place again?
I want you to apologize to you.
Well, you're not really apologizing to me right now, are you?
I'm sorry. It was my bad for spilling that wine on you. But I never once thought that things would get this out of hand. I've apologized to you now, so can you forgive me?
Even if you feel bad for what you've done, I'm way over trying to make up with someone like you.
Not only did a ton of my guests leave, but so did my fiancé and his family. What should I do?
Chris again already came in to apologize in person. He said he never knew that the woman he planned to marry was hiding so many things about herself, but he's right to say sorry for that because you've really shown everyone just the kind of monster you really are.
I'm sorry! I'm apologizing to you, so shouldn't you forgive me at least?
I'm not upset with you or anything.
Huh? Is that so? Well, then we don't need to worry about all that then. Let's get this wedding back on the rails.
I'm not upset with you because I've given up on you, so I'll not be coming back to that wedding of yours. And even after today, I have no desire to ever see you again. First, I'm going to ask that you pay for the cleaning of this dress after you stained it so badly. And if it cannot be cleaned, I'd like you to buy me a brand new dress to replace it.
You want me to pay for it to be cleaned? That's pretty expensive though, isn't it?
Well, it won't be as expensive as the cost of the wedding's cancellation fees.
Are you trying to kill me? My wedding's already been canceled and everything, and you expect me to suffer more.
And not just that, you're also fired.
Huh?
The next time you're in the office, you'll come to my office and we'll have you go through an exit meeting on all reasons for your dismissal. Make sure you're there on time to listen to the HR team and I.
What are you saying? Fired? Well, why should I be fired? You can't just fire me for this. You don't even have the right to do that.
Have you forgotten who I am? I have every right to tell my HR department to fire you. It's all my company after all.
You're lying, right? You can fire me that easily? Didn't you just say that you're not upset with me? Yet you're still not forgiving me for any of this? Please, just say you forgive me already.
Even if I wanted to, I'm too stubborn to let myself forgive you. I'm not mad at you, Angela, but I'm not forgiving you in any way. I really just don't want you around any of my employees anymore. I've heard from one of the department managers about how much you slack off. And you told me before that you plan to leave this job soon anyway, right? You'd said you'd be happy when you became a housewife and could leave the company. But it seems you're not going to become a housewife at all now, right?
Why is all of this happening to me? I wasn't the one that did anything wrong here.
So then who are you trying to say is the one to blame for all of this?
It's your fault for wearing janitor clothing at work. When you had all that dirty clothing on, there was no reason for me to think you were the CEO, right? I bet you were trying to hide this from me as a way of getting me fired.
So you seem to be far too upset to even properly rationalize now. The reason I was wearing janitor clothing that day is because I respect the janitor work within my company. That day I chose to help around the office to show my respect to everyone and make it clear that I was always thinking of everyone's needs. Was I wrong for being so kind?
I'm sure that's what you thought you were doing.
You already know very well that you blaming me for hiding nothing from you isn't going to work here, right? You showed me that you don't respect anyone within my company, especially the janitorial staff, and that's unacceptable. So I'm going to have you leave. And whether or not you can become a housewife or not now, I'm going to make sure that you're no longer in the company and are away from me.
But you already know that my marriage is on thin ice. Please, Doris, can you talk to Chris about all of this?
I will most definitely not.
Why not, though?
Not only did you say very rude things to me thinking that I was the janitor, but you also spilled wine all over my dress at your wedding. I'm firing you not only on my own behalf, but also on the behalf of all the employees within my company, including the janitorial staff. And no matter how much you try to complain and cry about what is being done to you, there is no stopping the inevitable from reaching you.
Please, 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 don't say things like that now. I did want to quit at some point, but I don't want to leave the company in the current situation. If I'm not able to make things right with Chris, what will I do?
Well, I suppose we don't know what'll happen between the two of you, but maybe I can find use for you within my company.
Really? So I won't be fired, right?
But that's only as long as you work as a janitor.
Huh? A janitor? You're going way too far now. Are you trying to make me look like an idiot in front of everyone?
Look, that's what I'm talking about. You really haven't learned a thing from all of this talking. You've just sat there spewing out garbage and not taking a single word of mine into consideration. Well, if you're not going to be able to work as a janitor within my company, then there's no other positions that I could put you in. As for your wedding today, congratulations. I hope you and Chris will have a great life together. Well, that's only if you and him can get along anymore, right? In the end, the wedding was cancelled, and the idea of the two getting married fell apart very quickly. And since Angela's mental health was ruined, she no longer showed up at the office ever again to speak with HR, and so she was fired without an exit meeting. But later on, she began to stalk Chris, as she still thought she had a chance of getting his trust back. However, after having multiple run-ins with him, where he told her to stay out of his sight, and that she was no longer on his mind, she resorted to standing outside his house and watching him through the windows. This didn't end up going any better for her, and she ended up having police called on her at one point, and was taken back to her parents' house, where they proceeded to kick her out, and she became homeless. The dream of becoming a housewife for Chris has now become anything but reachable. She may be in a very tough spot now, with nowhere to really go, but this is all part of the prize she won for being so disrespectful to Doris. Her best bet now is to really learn from her mistakes and take the right steps in changing her life back the way it was, minus the horrible attitude she had.